Let's talk about Nazi occult technology for a moment, and then talk about the inner order within the inner order that really called the shots in Nazi Germany. This is one of the most unknown Nazis and one of the highest ranking Nazis in the entire Nazi party. Okay? Hardly anybody knows about Hans Kammler, and there's a reason for that. He was their high-level technologist on the most top-secret technology projects that existed within the Third Reich. So they really wanted to keep his existence secret, and no one knows what happened to him after World War II. Hans Kammler, and his death date is not known, okay, was an SS Obergruppenführer, the highest of SS leaders. He was right there under Himmler, okay, was responsible for Nazi civil engineering projects, and he was the chief technologist for top secret Nazi weapons programs. Kammler joined the Nazi Party in 1931 and the SS on May 20th, 1933. In Kammler's ideology, modern technology and ideologies of German supremacy were tightly interwoven. He wanted to see a technocratic ruling class, and that's what he helped to try to bring about. Kammler was described as having technological competence and extreme Nazi fanaticism coexisting in the same man. Hitler's chief architect, Albert Speer, described Kammler as, quote, Himmler's most brutal and most ruthless henchman. Don't you think we would hear about someone like that historically? You would think so, right? He's being described as, this is the guy who Himmler himself views as the model Nazi, and yet his name is completely lost to history. Kammler oversaw the construction of various Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. He was one of the chief architects of Auschwitz, at which he was later called back to advise on modalities for boosting the daily output of its gas chambers, because they couldn't kill people fast enough. He was also responsible for the demolition of the Warsaw Ghetto. In 1945, Kammler was appointed to the Third Reich's plenipotentiary for all top-secret weapons research, responsible directly to the Reichsfuhrer SS Heinrich Himmler and to the Fuhrer Adolf Hitler himself, and only them. By the end of World War II, Hitler had concentrated more power in Hans Kammler's hands than he had ever entrusted to any single person, and yet his name is erased from history. In the final weeks of the war, Kammler's movements became sketchy and unpredictable. It is rumored that he attempted to relocate or destroy some of the most advanced weapons projects he had worked to create before they were able to be captured by the Allied powers. Kammler disappeared in May 1945 during the final days of the war and was never found. Many researchers have speculated that Nazi technologists were working on classified advanced weapons projects, including atomic weapons, missiles capable of reaching the United States, scalar weaponry, and above all, time travel and anti-gravity devices. The most famous of these speculated programs was Die Glock, the bell, which was described as a piece of glowing, rotating machinery that possibly had some kind of anti-gravitational effect. Speculation continues today that the bell may have been some sort of prototype for an anti-gravitational craft, which would act as a wonder weapon to allow Hitler and the Nazis to turn the tide late in World War II. This is a depiction of what the bell may have looked like, and it's based on some reports of what people who saw its prototype operation, how it worked. This is the henge, as it is known, where the bell allegedly either sat in the middle or perhaps was underneath of this henge. Now, notice that the henge has 12 pillars and lintels, and that's going to come in very significant in the next section, okay? It had 12 sections. That's not accidental or arbitrary. And again, this is a speculative part of the presentation, but much has been written and speculated on it by historians and scholars on this topic. And now we come to the inner order of the inner order of